The physics of divine unity, God, quantum mechanics, and notions of good and evil. Part 2. Heart consciousness and unity. Beyond the observable. Having established that what we perceive as separate individual consciousness is actually the singularity experiencing itself through temporal experiments, we now face a profound challenge. This truth cannot be directly observed. The paradox of temporal experiments is that we cannot observe that we are a single entity with a single consciousness through mind consciousness alone. Looking outward merely reinforces separateness. This limitation points us toward a deeper way of knowing, one that operates not through observation, but through direct recognition. The mind's illusion. The mind is thirsty for temporal knowledge and speaks in the language of curiosity and exploration. It categorizes and separates and organizes and classifies. The mind observes in order to understand meaning and connection in the temporal world, but only manages to create more questions, breaking it down into smaller and smaller parts. By constantly trying to make sense of temporal reality, the mind veils the truth. The mind is what allows us to believe in the illusion of separateness. The mind creates temporal entropy. When we rely solely on mind consciousness, each discovery leads to new questions. Each categorization creates more separation. Each analysis fragments understanding further. Like a tree growing ever more complex patterns of branches, this temporal entropy drives us toward increasing complexity and division. The mind's pursuit of knowledge, while valuable for engaging with temporal reality, actually reinforces our sense of separation from source. This is not to suggest that mind consciousness is inherently problematic. It serves a crucial role in how temporal experiments engage with and influence reality. However, we must recognize its limitations. The mind can observe and analyze the effects of unity, but it cannot directly experience unity itself. For this, we require a different mode of knowing, one that operates not through observation, but through direct recognition. Natural balance. Nature exists in a state of pure connection, motivated solely by balance and equilibrium. It lives and leads through heart, using mind as only one of many tools for survival and adaptation. The natural world doesn't suffer the struggle of accepting the truth. Nature lives through the heart, because it's all it knows. The mind of the natural world runs on a simpler logic of survival and procreation. There is no pride or guilt after an action. There is no second-guessing of decisions. There is no jealousy or vengeance or urge to dominate beyond what is purely in the interest of survival. Nature inherently demonstrates the principles of least action and conservation. An earthquake is violent, but merely the release of pressure, following the path of least action to restore harmony. A wolf pack culls the herd using minimal energy to achieve maximum effect, maintaining population balance through the most efficient means available. What may seem destructive at a temporal level is actually the system naturally following fundamental physical laws to restore harmony. While humans have developed complex consciousness and self-awareness, nature maintains its direct connection to source through simpler patterns of influence. Pure response without ego, dynamic adaptation without attachment to outcomes, and collective balance where individual actions serve the whole. This innate equilibrium demonstrates how the framework of possibility can maintain perfect balance when intention remains pure and connected to source. Nature shows us what is possible when temporal experiments remain in harmony with the whole, rather than perceiving themselves as separate. At some point in our evolving into modern humans, we began shifting our engagement with our surrounding world. becoming further reliant on our mind and the development of our intelligence. With this adaptation, we lost our innate sense of restorative balance. We lost our innate connection to the source. Our mind has become the predominant and often only way in which we experience reality. The mind-heart-soul connection. While the mind excels at engaging with temporal reality, its analytical nature cannot directly experience unity. Like trying to understand love by dissecting a heart, the mind's attempts to grasp truth through observation and analysis only reinforce our sense of separation. This is why accessing source requires moving beyond the mind's limited perspective to experience reality through heart consciousness. The heart is the only path to the soul. You cannot touch soul through the mind. You cannot accept unity except through the soul. Our heart and soul are the conduit from our mind and body to unity and the source. When we experience reality through our hearts instead of our minds, we are building our understanding of truth instead of merely seeking information. When our experiences and intentions are guided by our heart and a quest for unity, we can heal our perceptions of temporal separation. Temporal entropy and spiritual reunification. When we experience reality largely through our mind, it creates a continual reinforcement of separation. We fall in love with the illusion. We come to believe that only the matter matters. This separation demands constant energy to maintain, working against the universe's fundamental tendency toward unity and simplicity. Our quest for knowledge drives the mind to break reality into ever smaller parts, creating endless branches of separation. The mind's pursuit of knowledge drives temporal entropy, increasing complexity and division. Like a system forced into higher energy states, this process requires ever more energy to maintain these artificial separations against the natural pull toward unity. But there is a way back to unity through spiritual negentropy, or spiritual reunification. Consider how countless small streams join to form larger rivers until finally merging with the ocean. This is the pattern of spiritual negentropy, the reversal of separation, the return to wholeness. Just as every drop of water in every stream eventually finds its way back to the ocean, following the path of least action, all consciousness can find its way back to source. The journey to source is only inward. The process of spiritual negentropy works against the branching, dividing force of the mind. Instead of breaking reality into smaller pieces, it reunifies what has been separated. Instead of analyzing and categorizing, it synthesizes and connects. Where temporal entropy creates complexity and division, spiritual negentropy creates simplicity and unity, aligning with the universe's fundamental principles. However, this reunification isn't about abandoning the knowledge we've gained through temporal entropy. Just as rivers don't erase the landscapes they've carved, but rather use those very channels to flow back to the ocean, spiritual negentropy doesn't negate our temporal understanding, but rather provides the path for that understanding to flow back toward unity.